Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Magic the Gathering Arena video. In this one, I want to go back to playing one of my all-time favorite decks. That is, the 4-color Wishboard list with Worldsoul and Omnath. If you saw some of my older videos, you would know that this deck tries to win by ramping up fast with Lumra and Analyst, to then go face with Worldsoul Rage. The extra spice here though, involves playing Fae of Wishes to get access to the sideboard. This makes sideboarding between games pretty irrelevant for us, but it gives us the ability to find the pieces that we need during the game, depending on the situation that we are in. Anyways, I wanted to try out some new cards from the Edge of Eternities set in this one. To start off, we have 2 copies of Consult the Star Charts. These take the place of 2 copies of Memory Deluge, as I think it can be more flexible in the early game by costing 2 mana, but also allows us to see more cards in the late game compared to Deluge. It's a very interesting card for a ramp deck like this one. For now, I am going to keep 1 copy of Deluge, as this deck is still many cards to ramp, therefore the flashback ability of Deluge might still prove useful. Next, I want to try Tannuk, especially for its landfall ability, where if we can play a fetch land during a turn, we draw a card. The other ability also deals 1 damage to each opponent, which could also be a nice addition together with Worldsoul or Banefire damage. Given this deck tries to win by going face, this ability seems to complement the deck. Then, same as we did in the Team of Landfall decks, we have included 3 copies of Lumra, which of course is great for this type of deck, where we want to ramp up. To make space, I have removed Fabled Mirror Breaker. The rest remains pretty much the same, with Fae of Wishes being our wish card of choice. The sideboard also remains largely unchanged, with Alchemist Gambit being our cheap extra turn play in case we know we are going to win next turn. Epiphany in case we need 2 more damage in the air, but we are going to win next turn. Then Banefire is our cheapest damage card, and it is also not counterable if we cast it for 5 or more, which we usually want to do. An extra Virtue of Strength in the sideboard in case we need the triple mana, usually when we have Worldsoul Rage in hand, and then an extra copy of Worldsoul Rage, just in case. Escape to the wilds in those games where we need something to play as we are far off from lethal. Farewell and Sunfall are our mass removals for games where we are behind. So, that's pretty much it. Let's head into the play queue today for some testing of these new Edge of Eternities cards. Here we go. We have blue and green mana, should be enough to get us going.
Those who get in my way tend to regret it. Drop it.
While that's the best possible scenario for the opponent in this situation.
Off you go.
Explosion is a good draw at least.
We'd rather forget. This isn't how things were supposed to go.
Let's try to thin our deck as much as possible here. We really do not want any more lands. Unfortunately we do get another land. We need to try and hold on at this point. Not much else we can do. Nice. That is a great draw. Prepare to Deluge. Star charts will allow us to see much more cards from the top of the library. Okay, so 18 basic lands, meaning we can get Fae of Wishes and Virtue to blast them for more than 23 damage. Oh no, what happened? I must have misclicked. I wanted to get Virtue to go for lethal here. Not Omnath. Oh well, in this case, I guess I will need to wipe the board. I hope this mistake will not cost me the game. It was a really bad one. We are still dead here if they have removed. We could have even got Virtue instead of the board wipe, and get the Fae of Wishes in our graveyard to our hand, discard Omnath and the land, and still have mana to take an extra turn, to then finish them off in the next turn. So I messed up twice here actually. I need to practice more with this deck, but this is why this is one of my favorite decks. Lots of decisions. And look at the opponent here. What a top deck. And they have exactly enough mana to cast both creatures. But I have only myself to blame. This should have been already over. Oh well, these are nice draws at least. We could get Fae of Wishes back to our hand next turn if we don't play the land, but we are still 5 damage off, and there's no guarantee they do not draw more hand disruption. I just realized it is not yet the end of their turn. Should have waited. Now we run the risk of hand disruption. And of course, there it is. Incredible. But again, why fault? With the draw of Omnath, we could have returned Fae of Wishes to our hand and cast Escape to the Wilds, for example. And maybe I should have waited for next turn to have 2 cards in hand instead of playing my hand this turn. I think I am playing bad here. We need to try and prevent as much damage as possible, as we have the win next turn unless they have hand destruction. We were lucky to draw Fabled here. This way we have a chance, I think, as next turn we will be able to use our sideboard, unless they have removal for the Fae of Wishes. Can they kill us here, though? 2 from Annex, and another 2 from Sheoldred. We are down to 1. Wow, this is so close. It did not have to be, of course, but at least it's entertaining for you viewers. Or at least we are still dead here if they have removal, of course, but we have to go for it. Oh yeah, they did not have it. Now we get our dear Banefire and finish them off, finally. Wow, what a match. Lots of mistakes, but somehow we made it. Not great against hand disruption, but both draw us cards, so let's give it a try. Oh well, typical. Jinx myself. No turn 1 or 2 plays, unfortunately. Explosion is nice, but we are missing that blue mana. Let's finally get our blue mana here. This is finally looking pretty decent for us. I still want to draw 2 cards here. Do not want to risk getting Explosion discarded. Not sure about discarding Fae of Wishes there, but want to prioritize my life total. As we saw in the previous game, we can outlast them if we survive long enough. Awesome, we drew Lumra. Let's play that. You know what? If I had floated an extra green mana there previously, I think I could have casted Yorion with exact 8 mana after bringing back 3 land cards by sacrificing Analyst, since we had 5 mana available to us. We would have drawn 2 more cards in that case, and have more mana available the next turn. Let's get two Fae of Wishes to have enough redundancy for their hand disruption. Okay, so they are dead here, unless they have removal for Yorion, because we can go face for 11, and then hit for 7. Or else we could have taken an extra turn until the next turn. That would have been a better play actually. So many options. Lots of mistakes from my side, but still lots of fun. Good game, on to the next one. All tap lands. But at least we got some nice cards in here. I'm going to take the risk. Up against the Yorion deck, so hopefully not too fast. Let's get our green mana for Virtue next turn if need be. Okay, had some issue with the recording there. But basically opponent drew a card with the relic and we got the Courtyard land back to our hand. I assume we're up against the Esper Pixie bounce deck here. It's been getting some really nice results lately, especially on the arena ladder. That's fine, we can discard some lands, we got plenty. I don't think they will be very happy bouncing our stuff back though, except for Virtue. So I guess it's not a bad matchup for us initially. Probably the discarding is what is most annoying for us, but we have a few cards that can draw one or two. Yeah, they have seen enough. I guess they had our same thought here. They were not in a good position with all my draws. We need a blue source here, but otherwise this hand is decent. Let's give it a try. Let's get our blue source and start drawing some cards. Another island here gives us the possibility of casting both of our spirals next turn. Pretty nice. Down to 12 we go. Explosion can be awesome here. I think Explosion is the right play given we are at 12 life points, but let's see what we draw. Wow, don't really want to get rid of those. Let's discard the Analyst then, as Fae of Wishes and Virtue could help us finish this game off later on. And we can be mana efficient here and play Spelunking too. Well, Lauren is good for them against us. We draw another Spelunking, more card draw. That's great. They usually run counter spells in the sideboard, I think, in this deck. But probably not Spell Pierce since they prefer Make Disappear. Given they have cheap creatures to sacrifice. Let's see if we manage to get a fetch land here to trigger Nissa's ability. No, but another Spelunking is still nice. A Tannuk with Analyst's ability would be awesome to see. There we go, Fatal Push killing our dreams. If it would have been a fetch land there, we would have drawn another card with Tannuk. Unlucky. And there is the fetch land. One draw too late. And we got punished for trying to go for the nice play with Analyst and Tannuk here. We could have ramped with Analyst earlier. But that's fine, you know. I play for these combos mostly. It's the fun part of Magic for me. Now, talking about fun. Let's get some more cards to play that can't be discarded. Got to love Escape to the Wilds. Let's make sure Auto Tapper does not use our blue mana here. You see that? It definitely wanted to tap our blue mana. Lumra is a clutch draw here. We finally were able to trigger Nissa's ability. And this is the result. If they cannot kill Nissa here, I think we got this. Yeah, so we should have lethal here. But let's see what we draw. As they could have removal for Fae of Wishes, and that would stop us from casting Banefire. So we want to see if we can draw Worldsoul here, or another Fae of Wishes. Okay, let's go for it. I think they are just keeping mana up to draw with their relic. Nice, that worked. Let's see if it's either Gust then. Alright, we got there. Awesome. Here we are for the wrap-up. As usual, this deck is pure fun. We only managed to play 4 games in the play queue for now, but all of the matchups were against meta decks to be fair. Also, I had forgot to do some changes in the first game actually, which coincidentally is the one I lost. Anyhow, consult the star charts was pretty good. It helped us in certain plays that would not have been possible with Deluge. So for sure I want to keep it and maybe even add more in the future. Tannuk also seemed to be a target for opponents. So at the very least it was eating up removal spells, which could have been used on our more important creatures such as Nissa and Analyst. It's a pity we did not see it too much in action in these matches, but I want to also keep it and try it out more as I think it has a lot of potential, especially with the card draw ability. When it comes to the sideboard, I think I can do without Pithing Needle in the current meta, and therefore I am not expecting any changes soon here, even though there are a couple of cards from Edge of Eternities that I want to try. Maybe I will be able to showcase these in the next video. Until then, I hope you all enjoyed this deck and the matches played. Until the next one, goodbye.